All right, so today's conversation again is with Visit Shreveport-Bossier's Film and Entertainment Commissioner Wade Marshall. They're kicking up Shreveport-Bossier Film Industry Meetups, and it's going to be open to the public. And this is for anyone interested in film, even if you are not currently in the industry and you want to train to be part of the industry, you want to learn, or you have a film project and you want to get involved and connected, network with other filmmakers and collaborate, this is a great time to do it. They're going to start holding these regularly. Today is their first one that's open to the public. It's going to be from 6 to 9 p.m. at the Robinson Film Center in downtown Shreveport. If you don't know where that is, the Robinson Film Center is 617 Texas Street. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and bring you guys over. I'm gonna go ahead and bring you guys over to that interview so that you can enjoy it as much as I did. Not only does Wade talk about these meetups, he also talks in depth about the uniqueness of Shreveport, why it's a good place to film, and he talks about 50 Cent. He and 50 Cent have met a few times in person. He knows him personally, and he has a good insight on on the person and what's to come. So enjoy that conversation, guys. Oh, also, don't be surprised if I have to do a break in the middle of the video once we get halfway through it. Just bear with me when we get through it, and once I'm done with the break, we'll get right back to the video. Hello, I'm Brittney Hazelton, and this is Architects Artistry, where we explore the arts in our area. Today's guest is the Film and Entertainment Commissioner for Visit Shreveport-Bossier, and is here to speak with me about the area's film industry and how it's progressing. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me, Brittany. I'm glad to be here. My name is Wade Marshall, and again, I am the Film and Entertainment Commissioner for Visit Shreveport-Bossier.
All right, so me and Ray recently got the opportunity to meet in person during a soft opening for a new food truck. It's something that I actually did cover. We had a great conversation and decided to speak in person for today about the film industry because we want to promote Shreveport-Bossier, right?
Correct.
It's an important thing for us. So let's get started about talking about the filming in the area first and foremost. Have we seen an increase in filming in Northwest Louisiana?
Yeah, I think, we're in this, I wouldn't say reboot period, but, obviously we've had some ups and downs in the last couple of years with writer strikes and other things going on.
Yeah.
And, tax credits up and down. We had a big fight in November about tax credits, and we did our work on that, and we were able to get everything saved in a way.
I was very relieved
Yeah.
when I saw that because it was just like you want this area to grow, but like then you have to struggle with people trying to take away the things that benefit us to keep the area growing. Right?
I think that it goes back to just the narrative of it. We want people to be educated on why it's important, and I think
Yeah.
a lot of people, that pass this sort of legislation, they don't really know how it's impactful, and I think that's what we're trying to push out there and show that it is a economic driver for the state and for our area.
Oh yeah, and it not only economic, like it's jobs overall for people, especially creatives, and like Shreveport-Bossier has so many creatives, and it's hard for us not to get the jobs that we need, and the film industry is a great way for us, all sorts of artists, to get jobs, and I think that that's something we gotta push them, like, hey, there are people, there are jobs, this is beneficial for us.
Correct.
And not only that, like it puts a spotlight on our area when we can put those areas on film, right? So, is there any films? Like, how many films do you know of, or is there any films that are being filmed currently?
Well, currently, obviously we have our Louisiana Film Prize that happens every year, and we're seeing a lot of those productions right now out in the streets and doing things. So you'll see those, and we're getting a lot of calls to our office about locations and how do we do this and that. And I do encourage people that if you are doing a Louisiana Film Prize or any sort of smaller independent project, give us a call. We're here to help. That's what we're here for. We're here to help you with your production and put you with those resources.
All right, so that's great news. So, guys, definitely give them a call. They can assist you. That's the kind of thing that we want. We want, groups like yours helping support those artists too, and it's good to see that. And Film Prize is always I think it's the biggest independent film festival in the South.
Yes, that's correct.
I believe, yeah. And that's a huge thing for Shreveport-Bossier in general, that we have something that big.
Yes, and it draws nationwide support, people coming into our area for that too.
Yeah. Especially people that want to be a part of it, it drives them in to film here more. And I think that's
And we also have Film Prize Junior coming up here soon. Which is another fabulous way for kids to get involved in this thing and do their, show their talents.
Help the future generation of filmmakers from here, grow. Yeah. I love that. I also saw that one of the Film Prize students from one of the previous years went into filming at actual Film Prize later. He won junior, and then now is actually making films on a larger scale too.
Yes, and what we're seeing too is some of these Film Prize contestants come back and and actually we have one happening this year in that same respect. A Film Prize that was recently in the top 20 is now doing a entire feature based off of that.
Oh, that's great.
And we've had a couple of those already. But people are figuring out, hey, I just want to make an entire feature out of this. And that's totally the whole point,
Yeah. One of the representatives on Film Prize told me when I interviewed her, she told me that she knows of people actually moving into Shreveport-Bossier from out of state just to be part of Film Prize, legitimately settling here. And I think that's one of the biggest problems Shreveport-Bossier has is our population decline, How do you think we could tackle that and bring more people here?
Well, just kind of give you a little backstory on me. When I am from Shreveport, born and raised, and I graduated from Centenary with a music composition degree, and actually went out to Los Angeles to become a film composer. So that's my actual trade as doing film scores and things like that. But at that time, that was early 2000s, and I was like, there's no other place to be, right? You can't do it here.
Yeah.
So I went off to Los Angeles. And I think, fast forward to now, I think what we're trying to show everyone is that you can make a sustainable career here in that creative field, be it whatever that is. We're trying to put together a environment where you can stay here and make a high-paying career out of being creative.
That's exactly. I'm glad that you came back. Because so many times I think they just don't think it's possible.
Right.
And I think making it apparent is important.
Yeah. Again, it goes back to just letting people know what's happening and what resources we have available.
Mm-hmm. Getting them connected to those communities, like the film community and the art communities. They are very supportive, and you get so many resources just by networking with those communities, and it shows you how to stay there. And you guys are starting to host Film Industry Meetups, correct?
Yes. So we have in the past Arlena Cree, Pam Glorioso. They were our champions, in the heyday of all of that in our film industry, sort of post Katrina, when we really started seeing a lot of activity up here. But they had started these meetings way back then, and that we all sort of got together and talked about films coming up and what's on the radar, and then obviously the networking part was very important because we were meeting people that were doing it. and people that were new that didn't have any clue what was going on. They were eager to find out, and we were able to tap them into that pipeline. So we've done a couple. We started it, I think back in December. We started doing some over at Laugh Out Loud Comedy Club, which they were gracious enough to let us use their space and whatnot. But the more we thought about it, I was like, we have to make this bigger. We've got to start bringing in all ages, and we really want to grow this and bring people in. So the first public one will be Saturday at Robinson Film Center.
Okay.
It's at 6 p.m. and all ages are welcome. And even if you have no clue about anything that has to do with film industry,
Even if you're just interested.
yeah, just come and listen to what we have to say. We'll have some people talking about our training programs here. I'll have some representatives from the Film Prize there,
Nice.
and I think Garrett from Northwood Act Studios will be talking about his program. So we want to talk about what's happening in our area, and that there are ways to plug in and get trained, and also if to keep people on the pulse of things. That's the main
Yeah.
thing. I think people want to know what's going on. And so we want to make sure that we're being transparent about what we know, and so people
Yeah.
feel a little bit more motivated.
I tell people on my podcast all the time, it's like, you got to follow these things. You got to follow these organizations and these groups if you
Right.
want to know what's going on. Because
Yeah.
they'll be like, I didn't know this even. I have people tell me, I didn't even know those things happen. Or say,
Yeah,
it's like,
and I tell people all the time, now that I'm with Visit Shreveport-Bossier, we have our SB Fund Guide and things like that you can go online, and we post this, stuff on our commission site as well. But I think the one thing that really irks me is when people say there's nothing to do here.
Right.
And
Oh,
so,
that irks me too.
and so I think you just have to take a step back, and like just this weekend in particular is going to be insane with the amount of stuff's going on.
Oh
So,
yeah, yeah. Critical mass is
everything,
happening.
yeah.
All these other things are happening, and yeah, it's always busy. It's
Yeah.
always got so much. There's always so much to do. All right, guys. So time for that short commercial break I mentioned. Once that's done, we'll get right back into this interview, and you can hear more about our talk about things about Shreveport in general, and then we're gonna start touching on that subject about 50 Cent and everything going on with him, and Wade's insight into 50 Cent's the situation with 50 Cent and him coming here. All right, so here comes a commercial. We'll be right back after that. I think that people just, they need to, I think they just feel too fearful. They think Shreveport has this reputation of just being crime ridden, but that's not really the truth. I mean, you go
Yeah,
out.
I mean, look, I mean, every city has problems, and I'm not going to say that we have some stuff that we have to work on, but the main thing is that we have done plenty of events. I mean, I've walked the streets of downtown Shreveport at 2 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
It's what I'm trying to say is that it's perception,
Yeah.
and it's what you want to think, but until you go out there and enjoy yourself and find out for yourself,
Exactly.
you're just going to be in that same boat.
Exactly. I can say I've been downtown plenty of times late at night,
Yeah.
and it's fine. You just be what you normally would do to be safe, and
Yeah.
you're fine. Have friends with you, that's fine too. If you really are that scared, it's a matter of being a little brave, and then you'll be surprised by what you find.
Right.
If you get out there and stop hiding away in your bubble,
Yeah.
expand it.
Well, look, I mean, with everything I've been through in my life, and I tell people this all the time, like, you only have that one life, so get out there and live it. I mean,
Right?
we live in a place that has plenty to do, plenty of things to get involved with, even organizations and clubs and things like that.
Yeah.
You'd mentioned the Pepper Pals and how we all get together and eat spicy food until we die.
I love that. I love it.
But there's plenty of opportunity here, and if you want to know what's going on, they can always reach out to Visit Shreveport-Bossier. They can reach out to us, whoever, and we'll let them know what's happening. I mean, if people really want to know, if they're really stuck on, like, I've scoured social media and I can't find nothing going on tonight, give us a call. That's what we're there for.
Yeah.
We're the tourist bureau.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what we do. So
You guys especially be
Yeah.
the ones that know, right?
if I don't know, I'm going to go find out myself. So.
I mean, me and you especially probably follow enough organizations, and we'll be able to find something.
Yeah.
We'll be able to find something happening. So, so you plan on holding these feature meetups? Where can people find out about these meetups on social media?
So we have the Shreveport-Bossier Film and Entertainment Commission on Facebook. We have that presence, and we also, anytime we have these meetings, just like I'm doing now, we're going to go out and promote it and put it out in the socials and do press releases and whatnot. What we're going to do at this meeting coming up, there'll be a QR code or something that we set up where people can get onto a newsletter.
Okay.
So in the future, we can let them know what's going on and sort of keep them in the loop, even in between those meetups. So, yeah.
All right, that's awesome. So let's talk about 50 Cent a little bit.
Yeah.
So since his arrival, do you think that has affected our industry so far, even though he hasn't started any productions yet?
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of question about that, and I think the mayor explained it well, that there was just some paperwork that needed to be done for him to really get started, because I can't, I won't go into all the details, but long story short, there were 2 buildings on the Millennium property, and they leased the front building, and the back building was going to be used for some workforce development programs from a grant.
Okay.
And so what happened was he ended up saying, it'd be better in their best interest to have the whole property. So in that time, they've been working on that lease agreement to include that back building.
Okay.
And then, of course, stage works got added to that as well. So it's been sort of a, hold up until all that was sort of figured out. But, I think for him coming in and doing what he's doing, it has helped our agenda tremendously, especially even on a state level, helping us promote our state and our area because of what's about to happen.
I know he literally went and met with Landry when
Yes.
the film stuff was like, on the cutting board. Like he went and met with him. I feel like that probably had some kind of impact to share, like, hey, we do have outside people interested, but we have to keep these things.
Yeah, and Curtis is a very good businessman. I got to speak to him a few times when he was here, and he knows what he's doing. He knows a lot about film production. And I'm excited for what he's going to build. And the thing is about that is we're going to see, just like what we saw in the Katrina sort of times, that it was a domino effect. And what happened, we saw these businesses that support the film industry come in, from lighting companies to, prop houses, all these different things that encompass those things pop up and support those things. So we're trying to create something that's going to be a sustainable model and keep people employed throughout the year. And, and it just can grow from there. And obviously he's looking into bringing in the entertainment portion of that too. So, a lot of stuff that's on our same master plan at Visit Shreveport-Bossier that we can, coincide with, so our riverfront and everything, Texas Street, things like that, we're going to see a lot of different vibe down there again.
I like that.
Yeah.
He has a vision. He certainly has a vision, and I think it's great that he's put that forward and shows that, hey, it's not just about doing the film. I want to improve the whole city, and I admire that.
Yeah.
I know that he even had he sent somebody, I believe, to Critical Mass last year. Somebody was there to see Critical Mass, and it's good that he's taking interest in the other elements of our city like that.
Yeah, and he's got a big push on community, so we see that a lot. For sure.
I'm happy for that. So let's see. Do you think, and I probably already know the answer to this, but do you think our area's creative talents can keep up with the film industry's demands here?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we are sufficient for a certain type of budget film, but the thing is, once we get to that, we're sort of like right on the front lines that we can start building out to something that's like massively important here in the South, and not even just in the South, in the nation, and we're already on the world map because of what Curtis has put out there.
Oh, yeah.
But, I think that we want to show that we are just as capable as any other state to be a filming location, and our area is very unique in a sense that we have like fabulous locations that are very specific.
Unique architecture. Yes. Our roads were planned out like surprisingly well, so we don't have very bad traffic compared to some cities.
Yeah,
I know that's an interesting element about our city is we got the interstates are placed in the right position, so it's quick to get anywhere you need.
That's important because of budget too, because a lot of, when just to explain, when films come into town, they have to go to different locations and film and then break everything down and go to the next location all in that same day. Well, if you can do that in a faster way, if you can get more locations in a day, you've saved so much money. And then it's a thing of how we show that, look, the incentive really is that you're going to save money because you can do so much stuff here easier. So that is definitely a big benefit for filmmakers for sure. So I understand that you guys are starting your own podcast soon. Yeah, so we had talked about doing a podcast that goes through having people that have been in the industry, and then of course on the entertainment side, bring in people that have restaurants and talk about people that have started festivals and all that. So it's all encompassing.
Yeah.
But what we're going to do with it, we're actually going to make it a podcast that encompasses all of Visit Shreveport-Bossier.
That's great.
And so we'll hopefully get that figured out.
I look forward to seeing that, and we'll be fellow podcasters at that point.
Yeah.
All right. So, well, I just want to say I appreciate you and what you do. Your work to help improve the image of our city is very important. Is there anything else you'd like to say to our viewers before you go?
Just, again, see you Saturday if you want to come out. And, if they have any questions, they can always contact our office.
Oh, yeah. Where is that being held exactly?
Oh, Robinson Film Center.
Robinson Film Center. All right. Thank you so much
Not
again.
a problem. Thanks for having me.
We'll talk again anytime you want.
All right.
All right. All right, guys, so that was my interview with Wade Marshall, the Film and Entertainment Commissioner with Visit Shreveport-Bossier. He's got a lot going on, and they're making waves there, and I hope that keeps on going. Additionally, we'll see more filmmakers entering Film Prize too. So if you're interested in creating films and or you're wanting to work with filmmakers as an artist or an actor, check out these meetups that he's talking about. It's a big way to get in, and they plan on having like the Northwood Acting's gonna be there, and all these other things, and they train people in, get them into those industries. So if it's something you want to get into, this is a time to do it. All right, guys. Additionally, guys, if you want to follow me on Facebook, follow me as under Brittney Hazelton. You can find me a picture of me with my art next to me. That's the page you probably want to follow. I post art and local events, clips of my interviews, and pictures of me and my friends out doing local things. So if you're ever interested in learning about new locations and new places or seeing cool art, follow me. If you have ideas for who I should cover or talk to, or who I should interview, or someone you want to see on this podcast, or an organization or event that you want me to cover, email me, Brittney.Hazelton at KSLA.com. And you can find more of my articles, long-form articles, on KSLA.com under the hamburger menu, and you go to podcasts and go to Architects Artistry. There's long-form articles written there for each interview that I have, with more details and pictures, and sometimes really cool visual pictures too, like of artists' work. All right, guys. You can also catch us on Roku, Apple TV, and other streaming apps. You can catch me again doing a recap of this interview Wednesday at 11, and every Saturday at noon is where I first air my interviews. So don't miss me. Like and share and follow this Architects Artistry or other artists' work. Follow the artists, like and share, and comment on their stuff, and buy their work if you want to have their physical stuff in your home. All right, guys. Take care and have a good day.